Okay, I think, yeah, recording. Cool. Alright, hello to whoever is peer reviewing this and to Professor. You're probably watching this as well. This is my presentation. Keep in mind that this is a very rough draft. I was going to submit like a paper, something or other, but seeing as how I was doing a video project, I kind of thought I should submit a video. This is my recording software that you're seeing on the screen right now. This is what I will be using to record myself. Whether or not I keep like the face cam, I will probably make that judgment call at some point. This will be a scripted video when I do it like for real, for real. For now, it is not scripted. This is off the cuff, but it will be scripted when I actually do like my real final project recording. I will also be editing this for the real one. Again, this will not be edited in any way, but the real one will be edited. Just like some basic trimming, just to like cut out all the unnecessary stuff. Probably cut a lot of the uhs and ums and such out of it, just so it sounds more fluid and it sounds a little more professional. So with all that said, I will go ahead and get into my recording. Orientalism, Then and Now, Exploring the Impact Through Persepolis. I think the title's good. It might get a little wordy, but then again, I did just come off of writing a very long research paper, and the title was very important there. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Anyway, I thought I would start off with an author bio. That always seems like a good place to start for any of this. Just give some quick facts about Marjane Satrapi, where she's from, what she did with her life, that kind of stuff. The usual rigmarole, as it were. I have all of that jotted down. I just didn't put it here. Also, one thing that I would want to note very quickly is that I'm not sure if I will include like bullet points. I might do something a little bit different where I just have a script and just like the slide itself is just an image, which will make it seem more professional and more kind of personal, I guess, as well. So instead of like you as the viewer just reading like blocks of text on a bullet point, you're instead just listening to me speak. That was my thought on it. Again, I would like to know outside perspective. If I did have words on it, it would be something small like author bio or something like that. So next, talk about the Iranian Revolution / the Islamic Revolution. It's the same name, or it's the same thing, just called different things at times. This won't be very long. Talk briefly on the Shah, the overthrow, which led to the Islamic Republic being instilled. It was mostly peaceful. It was sparked by cinema being burned down, that movie theater. Name escapes me at the moment. Again, I will have all this written down. I promise it will be scripted. So talk about all of that. I could mention like the theory that it was burned down by the revolutionaries in order to kind of spark like a false flag kind of deal. I could bring that up. Again, nothing's quite set in stone on what exactly I will be saying, but this is just like a rough estimation. Next, I think it's important to establish the Iran-Iraq War and the Iranian hostage crisis, just because this was kind of the first instance of the U.S. like truly being involved with Iranian affairs. So like, and the Iran-Iraq War will be very brief, maybe like one or two like little bits about like this is what it was, this is kind of why it started, and then I'll go right into the Iranian hostage crisis because that's kind of the bigger ticket item here. So what it was a bunch of people at the U.S. Embassy were held hostage by Iranian revolutionaries. They were college students who had stormed the embassy. At the time, because the Iranian hostage crisis kicked off in '79 and it ran for 440 days, I'm pretty sure, was the exact number. So it started in '79 when Jimmy Carter was still president. He did want to end the conflict peacefully. He was very clear about that. He wanted to like try to like sneak the emissaries out, like try to like do a bunch of other things. He still labeled it like terrorism and anarchy. I have an article in the New York Times that I found that talks about that. So he was like very clear on the rhetoric that he used, but he still wanted like a peaceful resolution to it. Ronald Reagan was elected in '80, took office in '81. It would have been, and his like first thing out of the gate basically was you are going to give these hostages back, or like we're going to attack you. Was like his line of rhetoric. and pretty much everyone was on board with that. Like all, like a lot of, like a good chunk of U.S. citizens were on board with that. I don't have an exact number, but I do remember I talked to a good number of people who were alive back then, who have said that yeah, like most of, like a lot of the people that you talk to were like very on board with this mindset that, you know, we shouldn't be, you know, tiptoeing around this stuff. We're a powerful country, you know, that kind of thing. And the reason this is important is because this really started like a chain reaction that led the rhetoric down a certain path. Um, and this is where I did want my peer reviewer and your feedback professor, um, if I should bring up 9/11 here, just because, you know, 9/11, like, it was a horrible event that occurred, but it also very much skewed the rhetoric of of talking about Iran, Iraq, basically all of the Middle East. Like, it's one of those things where this is just a gut feeling, but I feel like if you asked like somebody who orchestrated the 9/11 attack, I don't know if they could give you the answer like straight up. I feel like they would just say like, you know, well, someone in the Middle East, and that led to a lot of like, you know, like terrible rhetoric being directed there and a lot of hate directed there, especially when you look at news coverage. Again, I'll have like more detailed sources when I do like, you know, the real presentation. So I'm not sure if you would want this here. I think it could be good, especially since, you know, this was 2001, and this was right around the time when, you know, this set was coming out, because it came out in a set of 4. I think the final one did come out in like 2004. So I feel like there would be some impact here. So just I would love feedback on this. So now talk about Persepolis and the way this all ties together. I do not have pictures right now. Again, very rough draft. I'm sorry. But you know, there's tons of scenes of like of Margie like going through these sorts of things. There's that scene in the airport where she's in the bathroom, and that woman is like just glaring at her, and even just like that short little set is like kind of a very powerful image, and it does sort of like paint a good picture of exactly what she goes through, like whenever she wears her head covering. I'm not sure if it's a hijab or not. I don't want to like say the wrong thing. So just that in general, through the storytelling, through like the image that we see, you know, like she's just like I don't like using the word normal, so I'm not like sold on that. Just because, like, you know, normal makes it sound like there's a standard that everyone needs to meet. But, you know, she, like, you know, she wears like jean jackets, listens to like rock music and stuff like that. So, you know, she doesn't like, she's not the way that she's portrayed in Persepolis, and the way that she, like, people that look like her are portrayed in news media are two wholly different things. And this is where we come to talk about Orientalism, and, you know, what that means in context to Persepolis and the rhetoric formed around the Iranian Revolution, the Iran-Iraq War, Iranian hostage crisis, possibly 9/11 if it makes the cut. But, you know, because we, like, as viewers and consumers of media and news media, are only shown like the worst qualities of people, and we're really told the worst qualities of people, you know, again, you can point to 9/11 in that regard, where like news media surrounding it basically became just like pointing out all of the terrible aspects um, of, of an entire group of people after this event, based on the actions of a small group of those people. Um, so there's that, and not only that, but, you know, the war in Iraq that occurred after the 9/11 attacks, like the news surrounding that, like very much painted up the Americans and painted down like everyone else. So that's how we see like Orientalism really seep in, and how we see it, and we, like, you know, you see it play out in Persepolis, just all the time. So yeah, rhetoric, framing, all that stuff consistently gotten worse, and that's displayed again through numerous scenes in Persepolis. So I still need to work in the text of, do Muslim women really need saving? I think I have a good way to do that just because I want to talk about, like, I want to talk about not only the negative rhetoric and how it's framed, but I do also want to touch on, and I probably will do this after I talk about Orientalism, so this slide will probably stay where it is. But I want to talk about like subverting this, basically, of like, you know, talking about do Muslim women really need saving, and then I will almost assuredly bring up the scene of Margie standing up for the dress code that is being enforced at her school, where she says, like, you know, well, the boys get to wear whatever they want, you know, why are we forced to wear this stuff? I'm an art student, you know, it's very restrictive. Like that scene, I'm sure you all remember it. It's a great scene, and rightfully so, and it works extremely well because you look at the framing, you look at the rhetoric that's, you know, surrounding people and especially women in these cultures, and you know, a lot of the rhetoric that formed, like the rhetoric formed of, like, you know, look at how terrible these people are, but also formed to say, like, oh, like, you know, look at how bad the women have it, or look at how bad, you know, these children have it, or anything like that. And you know, this essay of do Muslim women really need saving is an excellent example of like, yeah, like, you know, almost kind of like a, you know, save your pity type of deal. And that scene at the school, I don't actually remember if it's college now. I'm so sorry. But it's basically like, you know, like it's saying the same thing of, like, you know, like your rhetoric like is a little off. But Orientalism, you know, like Orientalism is basically, like, you know, proof that like because we are only shown certain aspects of, look at how bad these people are, look at how, you know, like poor off, or like look at how poorly off the women in this culture are, because we are only shown that. That's the only thing we see. And so the big kind of like the big talking point of all of this, and the reason why it is important in today's culture, is because we kind of still perpetuate this, not just with people in the Middle East or people of these religious beliefs, but with basically, you know, all people. We villainize groups. We, you know, like we make, like, you know, pity trains for all the like anything basically. Look at these people in this third world country. Feel bad for them. Look at these people here. They're evil and they're dirty and whatnot. So we still do that, and it is important to keep a critical mind of all of these things. To be, like, you know, to look past the prevailing and, like, basically omnipresent rhetoric that news media is just full of. Um, and that's the big point that I would want to drive home. Um, I know this is extremely rough. I assure everyone that it will be much more fleshed out. It will be a lot more cohesive and a lot better edited as well. Also, my voice is a little rough today, and I very much apologize for that. So that will hopefully also be a little better. So that's what I have. Here's my works cited. Um, Again, any sort of like feedback, what you think like could be added to what I've already said. If you think anything needs to be taken out, I'm always open to that. I have not determined like a full length for this yet, like how long it's going to be in terms of time-wise. I am still working out the details of that. I'm still drafting a script currently. I don't have a whole lot there just yet, um, but I will for surely have that soon. Anyway, that's all I have. Thanks so much.